There is a beautiful story behind the creation of Lalita Sahasranama. The story is where we know that Shiva was in tapas, but Jagat Karya had to take place. And because Jagat Karya has to take place, and the terrible demon Tarakasura had to be destroyed, and Tarakasura had a boon that he can be killed only by Shiva's son. And Shiva was in deep grief because of the self-immolation of Sati in the Dakshayajna. She did what is known as Prananila Stambhana. It's whoever decides to end their life, they sit in this particular kind of dhyana. In the dhyana, what happens? A fire inside the stomach builds up. And that fire actually saps away the life energy in the body. But the outside, the body will not lose the luster of the living. And that was the way in which Sati actually died. Her full body was available. And then Shiva comes to know, and then of course the Daksha Yajna is destroyed. All of you have seen Devankadev, Mahadev and other series. So then the Shakti, Sati has body is cut into 51 pieces by Vishnu's Sudarshana Chakra. These 51 pieces fell in different parts of Bharata, and all of them became the Shakti Pithas. So they were in this Shakti Pithas, the parts of the body dropped, and then Shiva becomes pacified and he sits in meditation. In the meanwhile, Tarakasura has come up. And so Indra and others, they had to somehow convince that Shiva should marry, but they were not able to rouse him from his tapas. An untimely spring was created in the Himalayas. All flowers started blossoming, all the beautiful birds came out, and Manmatha is sent to disturb the tapas of Shiva. And obviously, for a moment, Shiva's eye falls on the beauty of Parvati and his mind gets disturbed. And he recovers quickly, opens the third eye and burns down Manmatha. That's the setting for our Lalita Sahasranama. One of the Shiva Ganas, among the various Ganas of Shiva, there was one by name Chitra Sharma. This Chitra Karma, karma means action, Chitra means very special, unusual action. This Chitra Karma, what he does is he collects all these ashes and takes these ashes and makes it into a form of a human being. Then Shiva's eyesight falls on this form created out of this ashes, just like the rise of the phoenix. And as soon as it rises, since Shiva's eye fall on that, immediately this form gets a life. What is the power of Shiva's eyes? Yasya chaya mrityuhu. If Shiva is not looking at us, then it is death. If Shiva's eyes are on us, then it is immortality. So when Shiva's eyes closed, the whole world was closed. Now Shiva's eyes are closed and therefore the whole world is shut down. But because of our prayer, what happens? He will open the eye. Once he opens the eye, his vision, his seeing will be Amritam. So Chitrakarma now looks at this person and says that the Manmatha, that is pure lust, is now burned down. And now you worship Shiva and chant the Rudra. This is the reason why in calamitous situations we recommend chanting of the Rudra. Thayati iti manmatha. This means one who goes and stirs the mind. So the residue of the power of the Manmatha was there in this being that was created by this Chitrakarma. Then Brahma looks at this and says, "Oh my God, what has happened?" And then he says, he shouts in despair, "Bhanda, Bhanda." That means obstinate, obstinate. And that is how this name Bhandasura came. And this Bhandasura's neutralization is the basic theme of Lalita Sahasranama. Bhanda Sainyavadhodyukta. That's a reference to the mantra in Lalita Sahasranama. So Bhanda becomes a very great asura, and he started tormenting the three worlds, and he creates a capital for himself by name Shonitapura. So Shonita means full of blood. Indra was dismayed. Then he was in frustration. Then Narada comes and asks Indra to worship the Parashakti. From this Yajna-kunda came out the great Sri Chakra. And this Sri Chakra, in the midst of this Sri Chakra, there was the lovely figure of Devi. And this lovely figure of Devi was Brahma Vishnu Shivatmika. So those of you who are very familiar with the Lalita Sahasranama can identify these words. Brahma Vishnu Shivatmika is the one which came out in the middle of the Sri Chakra. So Devi promises to kill Bhandasura. Then it is a huge yajna. So it is in this yajna, Bhandasura must become a offering, the ahuti. So our Shastras say that no yajna is possible without the husband and wife being together. So husband and wife must sit together for a yajna. But Parashakti Devi is not married. And therefore Brahma comes and urges him, you have to get married, and according to Shastra Vidhi, you will not be able to do the yajna of Bhandasura in the Homakunda of war unless you get married. So what Devi did was, whom should I marry? She takes out the garland that she had on her in her neck and throws it into the air. When she threw up this garland, it fell around the neck of Shiva. By this time, Shiva had assumed the form of an extraordinarily handsome man. And he got the epithet Kameshwara. And thus Shiva became Kameshwara and Lalita became Kameshwari. So this you will see in the Lalita Sahasranama, Kameshwarankasthita, because they get married. So all this you see is a divine play. So in this divine play, the Sanskrit word for playfulness is Lalita. And she is Parameshwari. So she came to be known as Lalita Parameshwari. Because of her extraordinary beauty, she came to be known as Lalita Tripura Sundari. Lalita Tripura Sundari because she is the most beautiful woman in all the three worlds. And of course, Tripura has other connotations also. And then the Lalita Devi actually kills Bhandasura, and then she, in a fierce battle, and then she, Lalita Parameshwari, settled down in the present day Srinagar. Kashmira Vasini. And that's why she is also known as Sriman Nagaranayaki. Sri Mata, Sri Maharajni, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, and Sriman Nagaranayaki, and settled there. And then she brought back the life of Manmatha for Rati, because she should not become a widow. This is the enormous amount of compassion of the Devi